You didn't stop caring overnight. It wasn't one moment, one fight, one thing they said. It was the 1,000th time you reached out first, the 100th time you made the effort, the 50th time you told yourself, maybe next time they'll show up the way you do. And then one day you woke up and you just didn't have it in you anymore. People call that losing feelings, but that's not what happened. You didn't lose anything. You just finally got tired of carrying something alone that was always meant for two. Here's what nobody talks about. Loving someone who doesn't love you back the same way isn't dramatic. It doesn't always look like crying on the bathroom floor. Most of the time, it looks completely normal from the outside. You go to class, you answer messages, you laugh at the right moments, you function. But underneath all of that, you are working overtime, managing your own expectations, convincing yourself their half-effort is enough, translating their silence into something that sounds like care. Psychologists call this emotional labor, the invisible work of maintaining a connection that only one person is truly invested in. And emotional labor is exhausting in a very specific way, because there's nothing to show for it, no visible wound, no clear reason to stop, just a slow, quiet drain that nobody else can see. So why didn't you stop sooner? Because your brain wouldn't let you. Every time you were ready to walk away, they gave you something. A late-night conversation that felt real. A moment where they looked at you like you were the only person in the room. A text out of nowhere that made everything feel worth it again. Neuroscientists call this intermittent reinforcement. It's the same psychological mechanism behind slot machines. You don't keep pulling the lever because you win every time. You keep pulling it because you sometimes win. And that unpredictability is more addictive than consistency ever could be. They didn't have to show up often. They just had to show up sometimes. And your brain, desperate for that reward, kept telling you, maybe this time, maybe this time, maybe this time. And then something shifts. Not dramatically, no big fight, no betrayal you can point to. Just an ordinary Tuesday where you realize you're not angry anymore. You're not even sad in the sharp way you used to be. You're just tired. Psychologists have a name for this too. It's called emotional exhaustion. And it happens when the gap between what you're giving and what you're receiving becomes too wide to bridge with hope alone. Your heart didn't give up. It ran out of fuel. And the cruelest part? The person who drained you probably has no idea. Because to them, everything was fine. They were never carrying what you were carrying. They never felt the weight because you never put it down long enough for them to notice it existed. Here's where it gets complicated. Because when the feelings start to fade, when you stop checking their profile, stop replaying their messages, stop saving their name in your contacts under something that makes you smile, you feel guilty. Like you're the one who gave up. Like you're the one who failed. But let me ask you something honest. Did you give up? Or did you finally stop giving everything to someone who was comfortable taking without offering the same back? There's a difference between quitting on someone and protecting yourself from an arrangement that was slowly erasing you. Attachment theory tells us that humans need reciprocity to feel secure. When that reciprocity is consistently absent, when one person is always reaching and the other is always just out of reach, it doesn't just hurt. It rewires how you see yourself. You start to believe that needing love back is asking for too much. Loving someone more than they loved you back doesn't just leave you tired. It leaves marks. You become someone who triple checks their messages before sending them. Someone who apologizes for taking up space. Someone who notices immediately when energy shifts and assumes it's their fault. You learned from that one person that love is something you have to earn, that showing up too much pushes people away, that being too available is somehow the problem. None of that is true. But your nervous system doesn't know that yet. Research in attachment psychology shows that experiences of one-sided emotional investment can trigger what's called anxious attachment patterns. A constant low-level fear that the people you love will eventually find you to be too much or not enough. So here is what I want you to actually hear. You are not too much. You were just with someone who couldn't handle the full weight of what you offer. You didn't love too hard. You loved someone who didn't know what to do with it. And the fact that your feelings faded, that's not failure. That's your mind and body finally doing what you couldn't bring yourself to do consciously. It's protection. It's wisdom. It's your nervous system saying, we've given enough here. It's time. The people who are capable of loving you back, not perfectly, not dramatically, but consistently and with effort, they exist. But they can only find you when you stop pouring everything into someone who leaves their cup out in the rain and calls it drinking. You didn't lose feelings. You just finally got tired of being the only one who had them. And that tiredness, that quiet, bone-deep exhaustion, wasn't weakness. It was the last thing your love could do for you. It walked you out of a room you should have left a long time ago. You're allowed to be done. You're allowed to stop explaining yourself to someone who never asked to understand. And one day, not today, maybe not soon, but one day, you'll be with someone who makes you wonder why you ever worked so hard for so little. If this video felt like someone finally said what you couldn't, subscribe. Every week we get into the psychology behind the things you feel but can't quite explain. I'll see you in the next one.